if you still trust 2D for your BIM coordinations, you're risking hundreds of thousands of dollars and even millions in rework cost. Hi, I'm Siddhant. If you're new to the channel, I cover everything related to construction and technology here, so please do check it out. But in this video, we are going to talk about VR BIM reviews. I got to jump into a Revit model with my MetaQuest VR and the Resolve app, and it was game-changing. I actually got a chance to do a VR walkthrough with the founder of Resolve, Angel Say, and this was my first time ever doing a VR BIM review, and we cover a step-by-step procedure on how to navigate in a VR environment, how to teleport, how to look at issues, how to flag issues, how to make a comment, and also automatically create or sync issues in as an RFI in Procore and Autodesk Construction Cloud. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to effectively run a VR BIM coordination session that will leave the team with critical tasks and not just opinions. And that coordination actually saves you time and money. Here's the clip from the VR demo that I did recently.
I can see you, Sid. You can see me.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hello.
So now we are in a Navisworks model. This is running the Resolve application on MetaQuest. You saw how easy it was. You just download the app and then you join the project, and that's it. Everything else loaded automatically. This model is being pulled directly from Autodesk Construction Cloud, ACC. So our software has integrations with ACC, with BIM 360, and with Procore, so that you can pull any of your files directly into the headset. And so if my team were to update this model, it would automatically update in VR. So there's no like export to VR button or process. It's all automatic. But of course, if people don't use those services, they can also just upload their files directly. All right, so I'm going to teach you very quickly how to move around. So on your right hand, there's a purple joystick. If you move that left and right, you will rotate left and right, so you don't have to move around too much. But of course, remember, you can use your head to look around, and everything, the camera moves automatically. A lot of people, believe it or not, forget to look around. They're so used to like looking at Navisworks on the screen that they just want to look forward. Exactly. And now to move, on your right hand, if you press forward on the purple joystick and hold it down, you're going to see a dashed line like what you see coming from me here. Yep, and wherever you aim that, when you let go, you will teleport. So this is just a way to move around that is just proven to not make people motion sick. Because the next way I'm about to show you, that's a more of an advanced technique, but if you're new to VR, can sometimes make you a little bit motion sick if it's your first time. So on your left hand, there's a yellow joystick. If you press forwards on that, you will walk forward. There you go. Or back to back. That's right.
Got it.
So if you start to feel a little bit, uneasy, just stick to the teleporting. All right. The next thing I will show you is on your right hand, on the purple joystick. If you push that into the controller, so you press it down, you will fly up. Yeah, there you go. So this is where you start to get superpowers in VR, right? So if I'm with you, you're, let's say, a mechanical operator, and we want to talk about the HVAC up here, we can just fly up. And this is something that would be impossible to do in real life unless we had a lift. And now, we can go up here and talk about some of the ductwork, see, if I had a lift or a ladder, is it accessible? Is it safe? And, ask ourselves these questions. And when a lot of people ask us, why do I need this? I already have Navisworks, right? What can this do differently? I'm going to take you down here, and I'm going to use our gather functionality to bring you here. So I'm able to gather you as well. One of the things you can do in VR that you just can't do in Navisworks, unless you end up building a physical prototype, is simulate things that a human has to do. So in this case, maybe it's reaching into the assembly line and see, hey, what is it like to get items on and off the line if I'm an operator, or if I'm one of the workers here, or maybe even I'm one of the installers for this manufacturing line. What are some of the logistics things that I might run into? And I can practice that procedure with my hands, with my body. I don't know how much space you have to move around, but the Quest 3, it is tracking your position. It has cameras, so you could get up, and as long as you're within your boundary, you can walk around and see, hey, what's it like to walk over here? Is it safe? Am I going to hit my head on some piece of equipment? Those are all things that are a little bit more difficult to see if you're just looking at one person's screen on Navisworks, which is, the traditional way that things are done.
So this entire model is 1:1, right? So essentially it would detect all the spaces and everything.
That's right. It's 1-to-1. And then when you see my avatar, let's say you are the person who is in charge of this manufacturing line, and you're asking me to pretend to do a maintenance procedure. You can see my avatar as I'm here doing things, and you can see, why are they having to reach for this thing, or it looks like they're not going to fit. And then you go back to your team and hopefully address those changes.
Got it.
Okay. I also want to show you, so if you hit the create button, that's the big plus button in the middle. So there's a couple of tools here. So the most important one, I think, is the speech to text annotation. So if we found something wrong in the model, you want to be able to record that, right? We don't want to just go into VR and then everything gets lost. So let's say that, actually, I think there's a really good example over here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. I will bring you to me. Just give me a second. Let me fly over here. Okay. Over here, there's a really good example where in this staircase, once you start to get to the top, there's a very sharp corner here. If you can see it, there's a very sharp corner and not much clearance to the stairs.
Yep.
I can actually use our measuring tool to measure that. So between the stairs and the ductwork, there's about 5 feet, 5 inches. Someone's going to get hurt there, right? So if I'm walking up these steps and I'm walking here, this corner is either going to get me on the way up or right behind my head, and that would be very bad. So let's say we're in here, we find that we want to flag it now for our team to fix. So you go to the create menu, you hit, I'll let you do it. So once you hit add speech to text annotation, it'll count down, and then you just say whatever you want.
Not enough height clearance. There you go. Sweet.
Cool. And so then you go ahead and you just pick a tag for it.
So I'm gonna say design. Next.
Cool. Boom. And now I see it. Number 88 by Sid. Not enough height clearance. And once that gets added, we can always return to it in Resolve. But like I was saying before, Resolve has integrations with platforms like ACC and Procore, so we could push this out to our issue tracker. We also have ways to export the annotations as a BCF, so then you can go into Revisto or Nuforma Connect, or you can also export a Navisworks viewpoints XML. If you just want to bring it into Navisworks and look at them as viewpoints, that's fine, or CSVs and PDFs. We have many ways of getting these out of VR because we know people have, these parallel issue tracking processes, and we want to make sure they use Resolve to find more issues and then use their existing tools to make sure that those are closed out. So now you've seen, sort of one of the quickest ways to get in, find an issue, mark it up, and when you left that behind the scenes, the software took a picture of what you were looking at. So when you sync it to, let's say, Procore issues, it'll include the screenshot with it, and that way, people know they have context for what you're looking at. With the integrations as well, we export out the 3D coordinates. So if you go look at the model on the BIM viewer or your computer, it will take you to the same spot of the annotation.
Oh, got it.
And then I briefly showed the measuring tool. There's sketching. There's maybe one of the last things I'll show you here is this is all BIM, right? So it brings with it information, metadata. If you aim at the ductwork and you double click with the blue trigger, it will highlight for you. Yep. And then it'll bring up the properties menu. And here you can see all the metadata associated with it. So you asked me earlier, what should people do differently with their models? Does this change anything? one of the things we do see is people are a little more deliberate about their properties, make sure that it doesn't have too many useless or empty fields, make sure people understand what's in there, because this can be super useful to get more context, right, about what exactly am I looking at.
Sense.
And I can hide it. So I can start to hide, individual objects, say, okay, we found this issue. What if we were to hide that duct? Okay, well, now it looks a lot safer. We now just have to figure out what are we going to do with the piece that we removed.
Got it.
Yep. And there's also a bunch of layers associated with everything. So you can see I'm going to start turning off generic models, mechanical equipment. What else can I turn off here? Well, actually, let's do this. I'm going to start to turn off doors, electrical. I'm going to leave just the duct for the most part. Let me do level plumbing. Yeah, so I've taken the roof. So you can see I've like peeled back some of the layers here. I've turned off all the robot arms, and maybe I'm the trade partner in charge of installing the HVAC. So this is all I want to look at. Well, I can do that all in here. Okay, the last thing I will show you is, let's go to Dollhouse. I'm going to take you up to what's called our Dollhouse view. Okay, so up here, we can look at the model in this tabletop view. So you can see the models down here. And I have a section plane I can cut in and out. And I'm actually going to turn everything back on. And so here, if you lean in or move forward, now we're looking at a top-down view, right? So this is a little bit more like what people are used to seeing on their Navisworks screen, where they zoom out and they zoom in. But you can move the model around. We can scale it up and down. If you squeeze both of your green controllers, green buttons on your controllers, yep, you can grab the model. There you go. And now you're moving it around.
Perfect.
And then we can choose, maybe if we had a bigger, campus or something, we can say, oh, I actually want to go here. And you can teleport down to a specific section of the model.
Wow.
Yep. And then a new feature that's actually coming out by the time you publish this actually is, if you look over here, we have these 2D documents. So we are adding what is called an app portal, so that people can access Procore, ACC, BIM 360, Newforma, all inside of Resolve without taking their headset off. And then they can pin up pictures, screenshots of what they were looking at. So here, I've put up in my Dollhouse room a sample reference one-line diagram for some electrical equipment. But people can put up whatever they want and kind of customize this area, or put some drawings down there, and now they can access that 2D information that's still very important to them.
Awesome.
Any other questions, Sid?
No, I think I'm just impressed. I mean, this is pretty awesome. I could see a lot of great use cases. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, well, I'm glad you were able to jump in here with me. Bye, Sid.
Bye-bye.
If you found this video insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and also what topic should I cover next.